What's good guys, it's Smudger here, and today I've got a video about the settings that I personally think you're going to want to be running for the Cold War Alpha. If you hop into settings when you load up the game, you'll see this. And maybe you've played around with your sensitivity a bit, maybe you've played around with your stick sensitivity, maybe you've even changed your layout to a different layout from default. That's all good. What I'm going to need you to do is to press down on the left thumbstick and it'll bring up the advanced settings. So much of this is personal preference. I would recommend trying out the tactical layout if you don't have paddles on the back of your controller, because it allows you to kind of crouch and prone without taking your thumb off the right thumbstick. I personally flip L2 and R2 just because it's easier for me. Turn off your controller vibration. That's like the biggest thing I can say, is you don't want your controller rattling around in your hands as you're trying to take a shot. And this is where it gets interesting, is that this is your dead zone. So whereas in Modern Warfare you just have a standard dead zone for both thumbsticks, here you can fine tune it a bit more. So if you're finding that it's your left thumbstick that's drifting or your right one, you can alter that specifically, which I thought was pretty cool. I kept this as slow down and strafing aim assist enabled, because why wouldn't you want aim assist enabled? I ignored this, it didn't really apply too much. And then here you can enable or disable auto sprint. This game doesn't have auto tac sprint, doesn't have tactical sprint, but if you still want to get that constant movement, I'd recommend enabling this. And then here as well, this is your contextual reload or contextual tap that you have in Modern Warfare. You can prioritise the interact, the reload, or you can just keep it as tap to interact, tap to reload. I personally prefer prioritising the reload, prioritising the interact, just because I'm used to holding down my reload button from Modern Warfare. I'll probably get out of that as the game gets released and just go back to tap to reload or prioritise reload, but as it is, that's what I'm currently at. I changed this to alternate just because I didn't like the aim-based driving of the vehicles, although I've not played much in that game mode. And then if you actually flip it over to graphics, make sure you got your safe area so you can actually see the game. I see a lot of people putting up clips, and I don't know if it's the way Twitter's rendered it up maybe, but you can't see half the game. Like, you can't see your minimap. Like, guys, come on. Make sure your brightness isn't too bright. I find that in the satellite Angola map it can be quite bright sometimes, and this is the big one. At the start of every game you're gonna have to do this. You're gonna have to put your motion blur to disabled. At the moment, every time you load into a new game, it enables itself. You want to disable that because that's gonna be messing up with your game. I didn't realise this for the little bit. So make sure at the start of every single game you load into, you're hopping into settings, the infill sequence is popping up, and disabling motion blur, because it's glitched at the moment. It is an alpha and it will not stay as disabled, which is unfortunate. If we hop over to audio, there's not much to say here. It is dependent on your headphones, your TV, whatever you're running. What I would say is, if you are wearing headphones, I'm personally running the bass boost, or bass boost. It's bass, isn't it? I'm an idiot. I tried high boost for a bit. I think I prefer this one. Obviously that's going to change as they kind of tweak things here and there, especially going into the beta. I think we'll see a much better idea of what to expect in the final game. The last three settings don't really matter. If you're playing on keyboard and mouse, the chances are you're going to have your own personal preference for a lot of these settings. Your interface is just kind of subtitles and stuff, and your hit markers, and that's pretty much it. Hopefully with these settings everything should run a bit smoother. You should be winning a few more gunfights. I really would recommend trying out tactical if you're not already on it and you don't play claw, you don't have paddles on the back of your controller. It really makes a difference. I'll have another video out a little bit later today surrounding a sniping class, since the snipers are ridiculously OP in this alpha, as I'm sure everyone knows. And until then, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys later.